Painted Black, a being of motivation to do more, to be more, and to have higher expectations. A new standard of us, true representation that we can trust. Standing against discrimination of all, Black, white, foreigners, gay, fat, small, insecure, or just lost. Painted ConvoS is an outlet for voices that aren't out yet. I want to give people a new aspect. I want to create a platform for those who deserve it, but that's not hot yet, where every perspective is needed for every topic. And although conversations get heated, no one gets mistreated, because this is an unjudgmental territory, and there's nothing but respect for everyone's story. Thanks for tuning in to Painted ConvoS, presented by Painted Black. Thanks for tuning in to Painted ConvoS, episode 9, where we'll be talking about drugs, sex, and lies. We'll be diving headfirst into what drives the generation today. Thanks for tuning in, Painted ConvoS. So, question 1, let's get started. Compared to older generations, how has sex changed our society today? Whether it be music, marketing, school, personal relationships, or you as a person, how has it changed?
I think these days it is more acceptable to be sexy. I don't think that there has never been a time where sex has not been relevant. Sex sells, sex has always sold, sex will always continue to sell. But with the media presence and the way that people can have their images shared and appreciated so easily now, I think it's a lot more prevalent than it was before, just because it's so much easier to get yourself out there, and everybody likes a lot of likes. So it's unfortunate that a lot of times that people get more likes with the less they have on. The more revealing or scandalous they tend to act, more people tend to want to watch. And media makes you more, social media makes you more hungry for that attention. So I think some people do what they have to do to get the attention that they want.
So you would say, Evan, sex has changed our society more?
Yes, I think sex has definitely had an effect on our society to where sex is not as secret and personal as it used to be.
This is true. Okay. All right, anybody else want to share?
I have a huge problem with the over-sexualization of our culture. We all hear of products of sex. So sex has been around, but for some reason now we're allowing society to dictate to our men and women that sex is a priority. In any relationship, a healthy relationship, sex is only 20% if it's a healthy sexual relationship. It's 80% if you all aren't enjoying it. So again, take that into consideration when it comes to marketing. It's actually 80% of marketing. So they're putting our women and our men out here to literally extort their sexuality. So yes, I have a huge issue with the fact that our people over-sexualize. So then that comes to unwanted babies, STDs, as opposed to us having some level of dignity and honor about ourselves, saying, hey, everything don't need to be known and don't need to be discussed.
This is true. Okay. Anyone else?
Well, just to go off what he said, I feel like sometimes, even if you are on whatever and you're not fully clothed, some people mistake that as because you are naked, it's sexual. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it's not sexual. If you're comfortable in your own skin, we're all born naked. That's just what it is. But a lot of times, for the most part, I think a lot of times men feel like if she's naked, then she's a hoe. Or if she's naked, then she's easy. When it might be the contrary, where I'm just comfortable in my skin and I'm okay with being naked. It just is what it is.
I think that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I think that is a lot to do with our environment as well. I know when we're younger as girls, we're told, you can't wear that, or, you don't do too much, especially when you were around. And it could be anyone, you just want to make sure that as a little girl, you're often told to cover up, which is something that I feel is truly necessary because of the environment or I would just say of today's society. You just never know who's watching or who's looking, at your kids. So I think that played a lot into why sex is definitely also something that's we can't deny is changing our generation, just due to the fact that we are driven by the fact that sex can be just as deadly. You can't even have your kids be kids sometimes because some things are inappropriate. So it is something that I think is a little too passionate at times, and it's too driven.
I think too, though, now sex is a lot easier. If you, like you said, if you got likes, you in your DMs, you text for a little while, Netflix and chill, it's sex. It's no courtship. Nobody's courting anymore. Nobody's dating. And if you are dating, it's still probably sex. Right. Going to happen very, very soon.
But even from a marketing perspective, you know, I may be a little older than some of you guys. Back in the Black Planet and MySpace pages, you couldn't post certain images. They would take it down. Now, you go on Instagram, I've seen some videos of all-out sex. Now, yeah, they might delete it in 10 minutes, but the mere fact that you would even... I'm a little disgusted.
She didn't name the page.
So
okay.
Now, again, my point is like we're so and there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but we're comfortable in a space where the things that men and women would do for thousands of followers, they wouldn't do, let's say, in a nightclub. A woman's not going to open up a picture and say, hey, how are you doing? My name is Titi. Look at me butt naked. But yet she'll post a picture on Instagram. So there's a safe zone for some reason that she says, okay, I can post half naked pictures online, but I want respect. But then when I meet a man out and he disrespect me, I'm trying to figure out why. So again, respect is earned; it's not given. So, and again, this is it's not a judgmental, because as men and women, we all have a responsibility to each other. And I think that we've allowed and we've gotten so laxed with that responsibility, but then we get caught up in being judged. Life is all about judgment. I don't care what scripture says or what grandma told you. We all constantly judge each other, bottom line. So with that being said, what imagery and what ideal do you want people to have of you based on the images that you perpetuate?
As a man, when we look at women, we look at their physique. You see what I'm saying? So if she has a big bosom or a big butt, like, we gonna automatically think sex. You see what I'm saying? So far as that, I feel like that's trying to attract more men as far as the sex in our society.
So I guess it's like catchers now. Like sex is like a catcher, and I guess money is like a catcher. Of course, you got your men that get these sections and all this at the club, spending all this money. Then you have the women, they get all dressed up, they're trying to be sexy, getting a section. I mean, I kind of think that this is like things that are just, you know, like hand in hand and kind of just, you know, like catches or ways to grab people, whether it be marketing or whatever, because, you know, like, for instance, with my brand, I don't have a lot of followers. I'm pretty dressed on my page for the most part, you know, but I have people that absolutely love what I'm talking about and this, that, and the other. But now, do I have like all of that success as far as followers? Do I have, you know, I see girls that don't have much going on at all. They kind of never really talk. They post rap lyrics as captions, but they are, you know, half naked, which is cool because, you know, whatever floats people's boat, you know. But sex is something that we can't help but understand that it's driven, whether it be business, whether it be on Instagram or personal life. Of course, you got commercials. You know, they really play a lot of attractive people in commercials. You notice that? They don't do a lot of regular looking people in commercials, right? Because regular looking people or obesity, they have skin issues or hair, whatever, you know, at the end of the day, they're grabbing these people that are most attractive and saying, if you buy this product, you too can feel and look like this person, you know, and that all entails with marketing. And I think marketing is the most important part, and I think sex is what influenced marketing. I heard someone sexualizing one of the characters off the Disney Channel, you know. It's just like, wow, like, you know, they voted one of the characters as most sexiest, and this is a child. Like, what in the world, you know? And I think that it's becoming like a little too much and too comfortable of a topic.
I guess to kind of counter that in a way, I think we also have to remember that sex is natural. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's why you know, society is able to market it to us, and it's desirable to us because it's natural, you know. So I think if we have a better understanding of the natural process of sex, yeah, it'll eliminate a lot of the negative attributes from it.
The challenge that I have is that women have so much more control of their bodies, mind, and soul, but within the last 50, 60 years, they've given that control over to men. So whether we're talking about enhanced body parts, men can't dictate what is sexy. a woman tells you, this is what we're going to do tonight. But for some reason or another, women have actually dumbed themselves down to allow a man to tell her, this ain't sexy. So, okay, well, it don't fit for you then. But I'm not about to go and do what she's doing to impress you. So I think women have a lot more control than they take. Okay, if Eve made Adam go against God, then why your man won't take the trash out? So again, the roles have changed completely, where the women are allowing the men to dictate to them what's going to work and what isn't going to work. So I think as women, the power isn't in a slut walk. The power is in to say, hey, you know what? I'm not about to go and get enhancements. I'm not about to walk around with my ass out or none of that. You're going to accept me for the woman that I choose to be instead of you dictating to me who I need to be.
We're going to go ahead and go into the second question. So what is the difference between good lies and bad lies? And is there a difference? Honestly, I was watching a documentary with lies, and I just felt like, I felt like it was just so interesting because the guy justified lies at some point, and we all do. But then you have those justified lies, and then you also have those lies where they're like life and death, or the guy actually brought up a scenario where he was talking to someone who was in a near-death experience, and the lady looked up at him and said, oh, are you a paramedic or whatever, and he was just like, yes. Yes, but after a while, the lady passed out. Like, she was freaking out. She was hyperventilating. I guess she was in an accident or whatnot. But he felt like that was a justified good lie. It's other good lies that I have told. I've told my father like good lies because I love him so much, and I just want to make sure that he's okay. So I'll do like random things, like act like I checked up on him and I didn't, or whatever the case may be. So certain things you can say is a justified lie when it comes to bettering something. But I honestly, I don't know. What's your guys' opinion?
Only time somebody can lie to me is if you're trying to surprise me with something.
That's a justified lie, right?
That's it.
Surprises.
Period. Because I had someone tell me the reason I lie to you is because I care about you.
Oh, Jody.
Hold up. I personally feel like I don't like being lied to because I want to be able to have the power to decide how I feel about a situation. You're lying to me because you already feel like you know how I'm going to react to something. You already know what I'm going to say. You already know how I'm going to feel, and you take my power of discernment away. Let me decide how I feel about something. Let me decide if I'm upset. Let me decide if I really just don't care.
So y'all know what I will say. Everybody on this set is not about to tell me that y'all ain't never lied before, because that's now I'm gonna tell you now. If you are asking this, but okay. So let me say this, because a lot of times when people lie, they're justified lies. So I also want to hear about these justified lies.
You sound like you said a lot of justified lies.
Well, let me tell you. Let me just say this. You're not going to tell me that you have not told a fib, or people are just so offended by the word lie. Like, I'm not a liar, but I told a little fib, or I did if you're omitting something, that's a lie. There's several different forms of lying. So I don't want to hear that y'all just I don't lie, I've never lied. No. I don't want to hear that.
I think, but to the question that to lie is a selfish act, because you don't want the responsibility of having to handle the truth. Exactly. Now, D.L. Hughley just came on and did an interview where he had got his mistress pregnant and didn't tell his wife. Now, the boyfriend of his mistress ended up shaking the baby to death, and the baby died. So he finally told his wife about the mistress and the child. And the wife said, wow, I wish we could have went through this together. I could have been there for you. So again, back to what she was saying is, a lie is a selfish act because you don't want the responsibility of having to own up to your shit. Now, have I lied? 1,000,000 times. But I've never really been in love enough to have to put her before me. Okay, so when you get into a space where you feel like you have to lie, I don't fuck with you the way I thought I did. And that's whether it's business or personal. Because if you do, then you're going to reveal yourself and be vulnerable. The ultimate love is vulnerability, which means I'm going to put it out there, and this is what it is.
Yeah, but you have to look at it too with lies. Like, speaking of that same documentary, they were speaking of how people lie to their children about Santa Claus. You
What
know,
about
so
those? Like, what about the parents that lie? What about y'all
but to me,
kids? That,
I mean, honestly, if
You know,
I
white
had a
man,
child, I would
you
lie
know.
to that child about Santa Claus because I feel like it's a part of childhood. It's a part of their development. They're developing their imagination, you know. So I think certain lies serve a purpose.
I want to answer that. I would not tell my kids about Santa Claus. I don't want to give my kids false hope of things that I know that aren't real, because that'll give other people the opportunity to do the same thing. Just like in school, they teach us what they want us to know. So I wouldn't do that for my kids. My kids going to grow up. My kids are going to have the choice if they want to go to church. I don't do church. I don't do religion. So they're going to make their own choices from birth. And it's going to be based off how they see me live, how they see their other parent live, whoever I choose to be with. But as far as good lies, bad lies, a lie is a lie. Like she said, as far as surprises, that's for me. I agree with that. I can let that slide because I'm a spontaneous person. I love for things to be sprung upon me.
Yeah. It's
The-
fun.
Yeah, I mean the excitement
Fun to
behind
lie.
that. So, and you mentioned that omitting something is the same as lying.
Yep.
And I don't agree with that.
What? You don't
omitting-
agree?
No, absolutely not. Because omitting
That's
something.
deception. You
The-
lie.
okay, well, the deception and lies, they tie in together, but they're not the same.
They're cousins.
So-
Close
Well, you can be cousins, but you ain't my sister.
Well, no,
So
guess.
listen, no. Omitting,
Well, they sisters then.
telling me that, hey, I'm coming to the party. I am coming to the party. I didn't tell you I was gonna be late. I didn't lie. I'm still gonna come to your party.
Okay, hold on, wait. Okay,
So-
hold on. Let me ask you.
That's
this.
not-
Omitting details just means that you're omitting details.
Right, but you
It doesn't make you a liar.
omitted I guess lies and deceit go hand in hand. Because if I ask you, hey, how was lunch or whatever today? Oh, wow, it was cool. Me and the girls went and got boom, boom, boom. But you didn't say that your ex-boyfriend came and joined you and the girls.
Okay, that's not a lie.
No. But it was
omitting.
deceitful. So
Okay.
again, deceit and lie go hand in hand. Leaving something out doesn't mean that there's a level of clarity as to what the situation was.
Question 3. Has drugs ever taken a toll on a relationship or friendship of your own? And I'm not saying a family member or nothing like that. I'm talking about, give me like your feedback. When you're in like an awkward situation or you go somewhere, you're at a club or something, or you're in public, or it could be a relationship that maybe the drug is alcohol. It could be several different forms of drugs that people are addicted to. We all know that drugs are just a form of escape, right? Okay. Some people have more problems than others. You know, some people can deal with it to an extent. Some people can handle it, and some people are just out of control. But at the end of the day, drugs are drugs. So, feedback.
You wanna go?
From personal experience, I haven't had any drugs taken as far as a relationship, but friendships, yes. Not drugs, but alcohol.
Okay.
I had a best friend for a lot of years, and she just was just drunk all the time. And when she got drunk, she wanted to argue.
Yes.
I'm not going to argue with you, especially if you're my friend.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to do it. It's no way we can make up. Like, there's no make up sex after this. Like, I'm just not going to have this conversation with you. But she always got really, really aggressive when she was drinking. All her problems came out. It was so emotional. She wanted to cry. It's just like, I cannot, and I will not.
Well,
But it kind of destroyed
I
our,
think that-
we're still close. No, I'm lying. We're not close. We're still friends, but we're not as close as we used to be because it's just, no, I can't. And I won't.
This is actually true for me. Drugs have affected a friendship of mine. So I'm a pretty open person. I'm an open book. I put all my business out on Facebook. Is like my diary. Like my whole Facebook is my family. Everybody
It
on
definitely
Facebook.
is, y'all.
If you knew the things that I talk about on Facebook. So I went to California back in February, and I went to a club. I was out with one girl that I knew, her girlfriend, and a group of strangers. This one guy, we got into the club. He was like, he offered everybody coke. Like, we were in the middle of the dance floor. He was like, hey, he just pulled it out of his little necklace. Pulled it out. I was like, hey, you want a bump? And I was like, excuse me? And I actually wanted to say yes, but everybody that was around me, I was like, no. And I saw everybody else turn it down, but one guy, he got it and he was wired up. I was like, okay. So I went home and I told everybody about the experience, and he was like, I'm happy you didn't try it. I'm happy you didn't try it. It'll ruin your life. I told one of my closest friends here in Georgia about it. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm happy you didn't try it either. So 2 months ago, I was leaving a club and I was with a new girl. We were hanging out, and we go back to his place, he got coke. I was like, whoa, this is not, I knew no one here. I was like, this is another opportunity for me to try it. I knew in my mind I was going to try it. So I tried it, and I told her. The moment I told her I tried it, we had just started a business relationship. She's an artist, and she wanted me to manage her. The moment I put on Facebook that I tried coke, she texted me. She sent me a book and said, you will no longer be associated with my career. And I said, thanks. We're still friends, but initially, like, it cut off. And she still wants me closely related to every project she does. But representation-wise, she's like, no, because people are going to think I'm a druggie, this. And I said, I'm not you. You know, so if people judge me based off my actions, I don't feel like you should let that come between us. If you feel like the best person that's going to put you in better positions is going to be in your corner, don't cut that off. You know, but we just had a difference in opinion about it. We're still friends.
A lot of people do.
It affected.
A lot of times we don't realize, and that's why I asked this question: relationship or friendship? Because a lot of times when self thinks it only affects self, but it doesn't affect self only. Several different levels and people and situations around you are affected, whether it be for the positive or the negative. Because I've seen situations where people start smoking weed or people start doing other drugs, and it's classified as more cool because they're getting into another circle. And maybe they're doing it to get into another circle, and not your situation, but there's several different motives and reasons why people try different things, you know. And at the end of the day, as long as you're able to handle and you're safe and you're doing what you're doing around someone who you can trust, it's your business. But we must also remember that just because self is taking something themselves, you are affecting, and other people are judging around you, you know. And I think it's kind of a little unfair, but then sometimes you kind of have to understand, because people want that honesty. People want to know, like, what do you have going on? If you're going to represent my brand, you know, by all means, I'm sure that's why you guys are still cool, because you can't do nothing but respect that. Absolutely. So, go ahead, Evan.
I'm talking to someone right now. We're dating. We've only been dating for about a month now. It's nothing serious. But
What's his name, girl? Not just playing.
You know, what they say, no face, no case, no name, no shame. Okay. You know, do smoke a little here and there, you know, do partake in the festivities. You know, but
the fans are not watching. We are fine.
Yeah, I do smoke and he doesn't. And I do like to party and he doesn't. But I told him about it because starting off our relationship or whatever this turns into, I don't want to have any lies. And I'm not going to necessarily stop what I'm doing just because you don't do it either. Now, out of respect, I don't smoke around him. And if I'm drunk around him, I try to make sure he's had like at least one drink so that I'm not like...
He's not killing your buzz, basically.
Right, or I'm not blowing him either, because it's a mutual respect. So it all comes down to the respect level that I have for him and the respect that he has for me as an adult to make my own decisions. You knew what you were signing up for when you met me, so that's why I told you up front. If you have a problem with that, that's perfectly fine, but then I'm not the woman for you. It's nothing wrong. Like, he says, I have nothing wrong with what you're doing. Just out of respect, just don't do it around me. I can't be mad at that, but it's like, I also have to consider, what if in the future we were to move in together or something? Then what?
You gotta go outside and sit down.
Right, no.
Smoke
and see, but see,
on the movies.
And some people have a problem with the idea of that sort of compromise, but I don't. I'm not, because I wouldn't want somebody doing it around me, because I got a drinking thing. I don't like people being around me too drunk. Because after a certain point, I'm like, oh, now you getting sloppy. I really don't know what you just said to me anyways. So I don't like that. But people, out of respect, that know me for real, don't get sloppy drunk around me, because they know it's just going to result in an unpleasant night for both of us.
Growing up in Baltimore, Maryland, my family background were a lot of addicts, whether we're talking cocaine, heroin, alcohol abuse. So with that being said, then, I do have a challenge when it comes to dating. You know what I mean? I do want to know where your mind is at. What things are you into? But to your point, I think as men and women, we compromise ourselves a lot more than we really understand. We should be able to be who we are, and that individual be able to accept those flaws. But God has such a sense of humor that he created us to need each other. So that need of an individual, sometimes we put before our own. So to say that, then it's like you should be able to enjoy life as you see fit. And it's not about him respecting you. I mean, you respecting him. It's about him respecting who you are. So this is how I like to enjoy my evening when I got to get off of work. I shouldn't have to hide and sneak around, all due respect. No, yes, when you were young and you lived in your mama's house, you'd have to respect mama's house. But as a grown man, I'm going to do whatever it is I do as an individual. If it don't work for you, then that means we just don't work for each other. So if you go to church on Saturday, I go to church on Sunday, we're going to go to church both days. We're not going to say, well, I ain't going on your day. Well, I ain't going on your day. Well, respect that. Again, it's not to say that y'all may never get married and have some beautiful children, but I just think that a lot of times we compromise self, and then later on we feel like, I'm not happy. No, for me, I'm going to be who I am, and if this woman accepts it, then so be it, and then vice versa. Baby, pour everything that you're into. You've been to sex clubs before. You done had gangbangs. Let me know who you are as an individual and accept that woman for who she is, as opposed to being who you think I want you to be.
Hello, everyone. It's the one and only Mr. Bugatti, and we are back to the Bugatti sales segment, BYOB, Be Your Own Brand. Well, we have great creators and stylists and designers here. And today, we have Miss Janiqua M. Hey, thank you so much for being on the show today. I do appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Now, I was...
for having me.
Yo, you got it. And I was looking online and I seen some of your things. I was like, oh my God, I have to have her on. So can you give us a little bit of information about your line that's coming out?
Yes, I make t-shirts, distressed jackets, leggings, distressed jeans. As you can see, I have on, each piece is one of a kind. You cannot get it anywhere else.
Awesome. Oh my God, these are so dope. And I know you have a model here with us today. Can you go ahead and show us what you have? Oh my God, I love the Jurassic, what is it?
Distressed tee.
Oh, what is it? Jurassic Park. I used to watch this when I was younger, a little bit. Now, I like dinosaurs and everything, so you did the cuts and everything like that. Let me look at the back. It's so detailed, and I love her jeans. You can wear these like almost everywhere.
Right.
Okay, this is awesome, and you accessorized it with Vans, and I love the red hair. Okay, I'm living. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so now for your distressed tees or whatever. So how much are they?
They're $25.99, but today you can get them for $19.99 with this segment of BYOB.
And only here on BYOB where you can get her exclusive line for only $19.99. Next on the BYOB, Be Your Own Brand, we have the CEO of Melanin Movement, where Miss Chantel, can you please come out?
Yes, thank you for having me.
You got it. Thank you for being here. Now on this next line that's coming out, what's some of the things that we can expect and everything like that?
Well, Melanin Movement is the name of my clothing line. The females that adorn my pieces are Melanin Mermaids, and my guys are Melanin Messiahs, but together I do call them the Melanin Movement.
Awesome. These are some extravagant pieces here. I hope I get one. I'm a size large.
Yes, I
Well,
got you.
medium, but we're going to say large. Okay, awesome. Now, where can we find some of your products?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at melanin_movement. Also, you can shop with me online at melaninmovement.bigcartel.com. And I have my guy pieces. Muffin is wearing a guy top, but she looks very cute doing it. It has my crown, the 2 M's, because I do consider us royalty. And it's melanin because I do consider it God dust. So we're from the dark, that good melanin. So she has on a Melanin Messiah tee, which is a guy shirt, but she has the unisex dad cap as well. And then she's also, this model is wearing one of my custom pieces. So it's a vintage piece that I just embellished with a few things.
Oh,
and that's
awesome.
my
So you
melanin mermaid pieces.
Okay, awesome. So you do custom as well. So
Right.
if I have a jacket or something, I can come to Melanin Movement and you'll customize it and everything like
will.
that. Oh wow, I have a few pieces that I would love for you to play with.
And I would love to.
All right, awesome. I got some Bugatti shirts that I
Yes.
need some studs on. You can throw an M on there and everything. Well, thank you so much for being here, and it was such a pleasure. And go ahead and shout yourself out and tell everyone where they can find you.
Again, my name is Chantel. The name of my clothing line is Melanin Movement. My girls are Melanin Mermaids. My guys are Melanin Messiahs. MelaninMovement.BigCartel.com and on Instagram, Melanin_movement.
Yeah, all that and stuff. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here.
Question 4. If the love of your life, your soulmate, asked an unthinkable thing of you that made you question his or her sexuality or morals, would that be a deal breaker? Now, I don't want to hear, now I'm going to be honest with you. I went over these questions with a friend of mine, and she deemed some things inappropriate, what I really wanted to write. So I want you guys to answer this and be realistic, okay? When you answer, if you're a male or female, speak as if your love of your life asked you something. And when I tell you, he's not like the love of your life, like your soulmate, like, you know, oh, we ride the bus together, or oh, we struggling together. No, like he came and like Prince Charming, he's there, swept you off your feet. This woman, the woman of your dreams, she's beautiful, great morals, she cooks, cleans, like just your ideal woman. And she tells you that she wants something from you that maybe you might not agree with, but the risk of losing this person is far more greater and something to consider.
Okay. So
Okay.
then let's give a hypothetical scenario based on what you're saying.
I don't want
Hold on,
to.
no. What I'm saying is that a man is dating
Okay.
a woman.
Yeah, you give
and
me
then
one-
after
give me
being
one,
in
yes.
love or whatever, she wants to do a sex club.
Mine's just too
But within
bad.
the sex club, it's not about just you and a woman. She wants to experience another man.
Exactly. Okay.
Now, for me, I get all this out the way before the love comes into play.
Okay.
So once you get to the emotion, I think we're not having the right conversations because we all want to put on. See, for me, I want to know the grit. We're gonna drag each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know exactly what you've been through. Like, do you want nut in your face? You want it in your, like, have you been with 2 men before? You see what I'm saying? No. But what I'm saying is, like, as men, we're so judgmental. And I'm gonna just say this: the definition of a hoe is not how many partners she's had; it's how many niggas she done fucked in the same circle. Because if she done fucked outside the circle, then how do we know who she done fucked?
I agree
You
with
got me? So again, a woman can only be considered a hoe because she's fucking the same dudes in the same circle.
I
Now,
thought, you know, I agree with that too, but
my
hey,
point
I
is,
don't know about that.
figure out who she is sexually before you fall in love with her. Ask the right questions, but you're not asking the right questions because you're so caught up in everything else. So this, for me, it could never happen because we've already dug.
You know what? I asked this question before, and I had people that said that if this is my soulmate, they're not going to ask anything crazy of me. And I need you, listen. I asked this question, and I had a conversation with them. It was a gentleman, and he was very well spoken, and he definitely had a traditional outlook on relationships and soulmate. You know, he's not throwing that around. The love of his life, he's not throwing that around. So basically what his thing was, there's no way if we have made it this far, if she's my soulmate, she's going to ask me something that I don't agree with. Or I'm going to think it's a surprise, which is not true. I feel like people evolve. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? And I feel like people can't, listen, no, when I say evolve, or people just like, imagine 5 to 10 years. Or imagine them putting things out on the table, or maybe being a little embarrassed to say something that they've done in the past, or shy to say something that they've experienced.
I agree sincerely because an ex of mine, she's into women. She went and married a man. They were together for 3 or 4 years before he found out she was into women, and he was pissed off. So in his mind, why the hell you didn't tell me all of these things? But again, for me as a man, I ask the questions. I want to know, what are you into? What do you like to do? You see what I'm saying? Okay, but no, hold on. But again, because if she loves me the way she says, then she's going to be honest with me as we grow. But most men ain't asking those questions because they really don't want to know. So if it popped off 3, 4 years later when she told you, brother, you wasn't fucking with it from the beginning because you didn't ask the questions that needed to be known.
Reno, I'm sorry. Let me hear from a woman, please. Let me get a mic. Let me hear from a woman because men are saying the same thing, and I think women are the only ones that's more open-minded to realizing that after a while things get old and you want to try something different.
Yes.
So you could be in a 10-year marriage, and on my 11th year, I want to do something different.
Yes.
So I don't know. Look,
Yes.
it don't have to be a dude. It don't have to be
It could be
anything. I want you to realize that people evolve and grow and want different things.
Okay, so my scenario is pegging. Pegging is when a woman uses a strap-on to to penetrate her man. I personally know somebody that does this, and she very proudly tells people, "Oh yeah, I do men."
Okay, so you know what? I'm so glad, Evan. You just my bridgeway, and
through.
that's how you know. That's how you know that it ain't nothing but coinkadink. So listen, the reason why I formed question 4 was because I actually was listening to the radio, and a lady called in, and I guess she was anonymous, of course, but she wanted to state that she was with someone that she was in an amazing relationship with. Like she was just really happy. And the guy confronted her and said that, well, not confronted her, came to her, because this is somebody that she loves, told her that he would like penetration. I'm not stating with what or whatnot. You know, the guy has no record. Apparently, she's got no record from him of being gay, or you know, of experiencing anything with someone. You know, they're in a tight ship relationship. So, but this is something that he wanted to try different, and so. They asked, you know, the people and, you know, everyone else, like, what would you do? And the lady actually stated that because it was her man, it was her soulmate, she loved him, you know, she was willing to do it because she wanted to make him happy. Because at the end of the day, this was somebody that she loved. She wasn't going to judge him.
She's compromising him. She's not compromising her.
Well, at the end of the day, the question is,
Is
it a deal breaker?
Right.
Will you now look at your man differently? Like, would you now look at your man differently? Would you feel some type of way? Yeah. So, from ladies.
Personally, I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. Because, like I said in the beginning, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. I'm very experimental. I'm very spontaneous. So nothing really is like left field for me. I mean, anything is, you know, free game for me. So to ask me something, it wouldn't be a deal breaker. We discuss it based off how the discussion goes. You know, if it's this way or the highway, then yeah, because you give me an ultimatum. But to just bring something to my attention that's we haven't discussed before, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me.
The only deal breaker for me with my soulmate would be if she wanted us to bring another man after all of these years into the situation.
What about a woman? What about if she wanted to bring another woman in?
I'm disgusting. I've been doing that since I was 19, so that's not new.
So,
Yeah,
So that's every
please
day.
pass the mic.
Whoa. You got to do what works for you. Like pegging don't work for me, but another chick in the bed do. So again, it's not to judge it, but what I'm saying is that if this was something that she wanted to do, get that out your system before we get together.
But it didn't arise before.
Hey,
It
well,
just came
okay,
about
well,
me 20
again,
years later.
again,
I'm feeling frisky.
okay, so again, I'm not
Hold on,
against
guys.
it.
Hold
It
on,
just
guys.
don't work for me.
Okay, so it's to each his own. Listen, there is no right answer to this question, okay? Because there is no right answer to the question. Everybody is different. You know, people value different people differently. You don't know what you and the person that you're dealing with, you don't know how they make you feel to the point where 10, 15 years from now, you might just be like willing to risk it all for a person. You might be, Reno, because I feel like you need that. But let's go ahead. Exactly.
Back to what you were saying, as far as the radio interview.
Yes.
I'm like, as a man, I don't have no problem with gays or homosexuality.
Right.
As a man, you just don't up and out the blue like I want to be with another man or I want to be penetrated.
And she didn't say that.
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
he
saying.
didn't say that, rather. You know, he didn't want to go out and do that with the man. He wanted to get it from his partner, his woman. So, I mean, it's either you're going to let your man leave and just go ahead and get it from a man's or get it from somebody that will do it. There's some women out here that will strap on
But the compromise again,
and take your man.
Somebody will. Look, so clearly, Roxy, look. So clearly, I'm gonna need for y'all to realize, like, there's people out here that's always willing to do what you won't do.
I have no problem with that.
Okay, so I once met a guy and he DM'd me. He DM'd me on Instagram, and from looking at his Instagram, he seemed to have it all together. You know, college graduate. He was. You messed up already looking at Instagram. He was that's how we met. He was a month out from getting his MBA. It's considered internet dating, you know, if we're gonna be honest. Anyways. So a couple days later, we were texting, and then I got the infamous question. Do you want to play 21 questions? We were grown. No, I do not. I'm not curious. I'll ask you what I feel like I need to know, but I'm not going to just ask you random questions because I don't care. Like, we're not that deep yet. Okay. So he said, well, I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay, cool. Question number 3. How do you feel about 2 men? I said, oh, well, 2 men, I'm not okay with that. That sounds like what I would consider a train, but you know, to each his own. He said, no, I meant watching 2 men.
Nice.
So it wasn't to I had no problem with him wanting that, but you just can't want that from me. Like, if that's what you like, cool, rock out. But I feel like at that point,
I need y'all backstage. I just hear a little muffle. I just need you guys to calm down a little bit. I hear 2 deep voice. That's all. Okay, go ahead.
And I feel like I would kind of been like, the way he kind of presented it to me made me feel like I was just for show. Because it's not even like, oh, I want you to join in with us and we're going to have like a legitimate threesome, because a threesome to me is when all parties interact with each other. Okay. Right. It's a 2.5, thank you, otherwise. So then you would have asked for a threesome with a male. But you didn't. You just asked me to watch the 2 of you. So are you using me like as a cover up? And so that's where I kind of had the problem. Like, do what you want to do and be proud of who you are and what you do, but don't try to use me as like your cover up. Yeah, but it's like now if we were 5 years down, and if we were 5 years into it, and you asked me about watching 2 guys, no, because I still gonna feel like that there were some things that you're questioning in your past, so that's a little bit different. But if you hit me with, you know, I was on XNXX or on Pornhub, and this ad for this came up, and I kind of got curious about it, babe, and I kind of wanted to experiment, and we're deep into this. You know, depending on what you ask me, I'm probably going to go for it just because you're my man. Like, and like you said, if you're not getting it from me, you're going to get it from somewhere. My grandma told me men are like fires. If left unattended, they go out.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the next question. Question 5. What do you think ultimately drives our generation? Because sex sells, we already talked about that. Drugs are classified as an escape, and lies and illusions are at an all-time high. And which do you think has the most negative impact on our generation? So when I'm asking this question, it's a kind of like a double question. What really moves us? I need a person to not say this and this and this, but based off of perspective.
I want to say drugs. Drugs,
okay.
Because drugs can lead to becoming a sex addict because you're off the drugs. And the drugs can lead you into like being just a compulsive liar because you want to get drugs and you need to.
This is true. A lot of drug addicts are liars. Good ones, the best.
Okay.
The very best.
I think what drives a generation most is sex. I think that you don't date long enough before you had sex with somebody. You don't know a person long enough before you've already had sex with them. I think that's the biggest objective in the generation today, period, is having sex. Drugs is kind of like a social thing. Some people will take drugs just because, they're around Leroy and them tonight. or it's a big party tonight, they'll do drugs, but they're not recreationally at home doing that regularly. But they sit on Grindr, Tinder, all these hookup apps, all people, it's sex, 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 sex. I have a friend, he's gay. He, like, I don't know if he's gay man or I don't know if it's just him. He has to have about 4 or 5 sex partners a week. And that is extremely, like, what the hell? Like, bro, like, his drive is just ridiculous. But sex is so, it's so bottom line. It's like, text for a few minutes. All right, can I come over? What? Like, I mean, it's, but I think that's what's driving the generation more than anything, as far as what you look like. All of that ties into, okay, well, she look good, so you know what I want now. And I mean, as far as the lies, that comes after the sex. You don't get the line until after the sex.
I think you lie first
You may, but my on the way here, when you called me, I was on the phone with my best friend.
I would say, "Oh, you lied to me."
Don't watch this. No, I'm serious. She was telling me about this guy that she'd been dating for a couple months, and how he said that him and his baby mom are no longer an item. Woo woo. However, she's Facebook friends with him. Her page is open, so she goes on his Facebook, and he saw a picture that they had posted with his son. So he goes on her page. She goes on her page. She like, man crush every day. Oh, he just goes to the moon and beyond for me. He brings me the stars. He this, and under it, he writes 100 emoji money bags. Thank you, baby. Da da da. This is today, but you just been telling my best friend, oh no, me and baby moms, we not together. We ain't none of that. We ain't knocking off none of that. Well, why you under her post, basically co-signing what she just said as far as you being in her life and what you doing for her, if y'all not smashing and all this extra stuff. So the lies, they've already smashed. Like my best friend and buddy, they already smashed, but it's like the lies just keep coming. Like they just keep coming. But I feel like sex is the motive, point blank, and what's the most negative impact, I think, is the lies.
I think sex is a big drive, but I think lies are the biggest. And I think lies are the biggest because I think that sex and drugs come into play when you lie to yourself about who you are or who you're trying to be. If it's not just what you want to do just because you want to do it, and you're doing it because you think it's going to gain you something, whether it be more attention, whether it be the escape or whatever it is, if that's not initially what you like to do, the beginning of it is lying to yourself to convince yourself that that's what you need. Right. I know a lot of times, like, when we go out and do certain things, and there's all been times where we've gotten into bed with somebody and you know you have no business being there. Even before you get into bed, when that person calls you and you look at your phone, before you answer it, you know what they're calling you for.
Who are you speaking to today, girl?
They know, you know what they're calling for. You know exactly what they're going to say when you answer the phone, and you go over there anyways. And then you get in bed and you're like laying there like, oh my God, I can't believe we're about to have, what? Yeah. You did, because you lied to yourself. Yeah. And you said that this wasn't going to happen when you knew that that's what it was.
And so that's another of an justified liar. What my intentions were to, right. ... But something happened, ... Exactly. And so, in my defense, I'm going to agree with you. I think that out of sex, lies, and drugs, I would say lies, because lies have such a large umbrella. And I'm going to get a little deep on y'all just because y'all already know how I am. When I think about lies, I don't necessarily think about the words that are coming out of each other's mouth. I need background. I don't know what's going on. Raphael, I need y'all to stop talking. Y'all throwing me off, please. So lies, I honestly believe that it's something like an umbrella. It comes in so many different shapes and forms. Not only do you have the sake of argument, you see how strong and passionate she was about the omit situation? That's just how we argue with ourselves when we lie, when we don't tell the truth, or when we are not really, when we sell ourselves. Think about it. Who don't sell their business or sell themselves or say what they got going on? All of these are little white lies, whether it be to build us up, to justify us for what we have. Everybody has moved to Atlanta. A lot of people are not from Atlanta that are here. So when you come off, you meet people and you say, I am a ... Now, how much have you sold doing ... You know, that's something you omit. You know what I'm saying? But all the time, when you meet people, you sell yourself. When our rappers are telling us about these drugs that's hot on the streets or how to get rich or how to make this money, these are lies, because not too long ago I saw a picture of young Jeezy with his son. He had just graduated. So my thing is, this is not how you're not telling the rapper. I just honestly feel like a lot of our music is what helps us lie even more, because we feel like, hey, this is what the song's saying. This is what we're supposed to be doing. Man, y'all hear the music. I'm about to buy a section. This is what I want to do because this is what is right. This is the perception I'm trying to give off. You know, perpetration, perception, all of that is under this large umbrella of lies, which trickles down to, hey, this is who I am, baby. I want to do this, I want to get married. I want to, you know, be official. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find somebody. So this is what is going to enable you to be more receptive to my sex. So when it comes to my drugs, oh, yes, man, I'm telling you, this is free. This is something that you can do. You know, release your mind. Have a good time. Don't worry about nothing, man. You ain't got to worry about nothing at all. Everything going to be okay. Just take some of this. It stems from a lie, because as soon as you get sober, you still got the same problems and the same issues. So lies, to me, and just my opinion, because I asked all of you guys and you all had some really strong points, but I feel like a lot of things stem from that illusion of lies that we tell ourselves, that we justify with ourselves when we do these wrong things, and we know that our parents told us not to do these things, but we justify them because it's like, I'm grown, let me do this. You know, when you know you've told your mom, yeah, mom, I ain't gonna never do that. That's a lie. Okay, so next person.
I guess I want to kind of play the devil's advocate with it as well. Just knowing how, I guess, influential lies are and how it has the negative aspect, but it also has the power to change history as well. So, you know, even telling a lie, knowing that it can have a negative attribute to it or a negative effect in your life, it could also take you where you need to go.
And how would it, let me ask you this, in what circumstances would you feel to take it? Because when I think of what you just said, I agree on a larger standpoint. I agree. I think back to how we were taught in school that our history started with slavery. They lied to us and they told us that was our history. When I know our history was something so much more than that. You know what I mean? But
even look at the standpoint, everybody's heard it, fake it till you make it. You know, and it's just presenting yourself, even though you know it's not true and you know that you're representing yourself in a falsehood, you know that you have the potential to, you know, be in that point or be at that point and at that place in time, you know, when it's available to you. But so right now you don't have it.
Do you think that it's classified as a good lie when people say, hey, I'm going to speak my goal and my vision into existence. I am the next ... Is that classified as a lie when you tell somebody that, when you're not as successful as you've stated that you were? I had a guy that pursued me about marketing, okay? I felt like he had every intentions on helping me out with my marketing. He was telling me about, you know, how he can help with ... And I was all for it. You know, I'm so ready to, you know, I don't like to dumb down no one's craft, and so I ain't trying to ask for a discount here and there. You know what I'm saying? Because I respect your craft. I don't want nobody to come here. Can I pay $4 opposed to $5? I don't have time for that. You know, just I appreciate craft, and I respect it. So when he sold me his pitch and he sold me everything that he could possibly do for my company and my brand, I believed it. He had me at a place. He introduced me to other people, a part of his team, and this, that, and the other, and so forth on. Now, fast forward to 2-3 months later, you know, I was several excuses as to ... why things weren't able to be done. You know, during the conversations that we were having before, you know, I paid my money paid a little bit of money, this, that, and the other, get things started. Due to the conversations that we had before, I felt like he was really passionate about what he was doing. I felt like he really wanted to do it. You know, whether it was him speaking things into existence, believing what he was doing or saying to me, or whether it just be, honestly, BS. You just never know. You know, you can't go about it like, hey, are you lying to me or are you telling me the truth? Right now, tell me. I need to know right now. I don't have time before I give you my money. Nobody's doing that. So he was a scammer? I don't know if he was a scammer. But because I truly believe that the goal that he was doing and the conversations that we had, that he was passionate about what he was doing. But the delivery was off. Situations kept happening, emergencies, and this, that, and the other were an issue. And my heart tells me that this is an individual that probably was just a little bit in over his head, that was speaking his things into existence, offering and telling me what he could possibly do for me, but was unable to deliver due to whatever other circumstances. So whether you have good lives or bad lives, think about that also. A lot of times, it's always consequences. It's always different circumstances. So you can speak things into existence and this, that, and the other. And when it comes to customer service, and that's why us Black people really have a downfall, because our businesses lack a lot of strong customer service. But for the most part, delivery. You know, when you communication. You know, but ultimately, is that classified as a lie when I know somebody is out here trying, but they just bit off more than they can chew?
Yes. Me and my partner, we have a sneaker business. So if I promise my customers that they're going to get a shoe a week or two before they come out, and I embellish, hey, get them. I'm showing pictures of celebrities that got shoes from me, but I can't deliver. Where's the integrity in the aspect to say, if I know I can do the job or not? So if I realize I can't, it's better for me not to even involve myself, because I don't know who this person knows, who that person knows, who that person knows, that's just going to affect my growth. So it's better for me not to even step into that arena to say, hey, you know what? I'm still growing. I like to grow with you as well. So it goes back to your point where you were saying lies. Lies, meaning we lie about ourselves about our drug addictions. We lie to ourselves about our sex addicts and issues. So everything is based on perception. So if women get into the mirror and say, oh my God, I need booty shots because I need them. No, you don't need them because you need them. You need them because the women that you're around and the women that you perceive on TV have them. So don't make it seem like you want it because your auntie ain't got no ass, your mama ain't got no ass, the women in your family ain't got no ass. So this ain't how you was raised. And the same, you know, so it does start with lies, because men lie as to who they are as individuals to get sex. Women lie as to what they desire when it comes to their physical attributes.
Let me tell you something. I need y'all men to stop lying too. Let me tell you about something else y'all lie about. I need y'all to stop, right. Besides life, besides everything below, I need you guys to also realize that y'all lie about self-respect and self-love. Because yes, you can say, oh yeah, I'm lying to get sex, I'm lying to do this, that, and the other, but men also lie about loving themselves or appreciating who they are. Absolutely. You know, a lot of times I personally just recognize or see, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too, maybe the people that I follow on Instagram. You know, Instagram has got a way of channeling you to the people the pictures that you like. So it made me feel like I'm not alone. So yes, men as a whole, as far as you guys constantly state women doing this, that, and the other, enhancing body parts, or doing this, that, other because of what's classified as beautiful and this, that, and the other. But you Black men, you guys seem to not favor what looks like you, your counterpart. You know, a lot of men go elsewhere, and that's not a problem. Preference is preference, okay? Regardless of what, love who you love. But if you telling me that a lot, you can't, and maybe not you all, but just speak you know, in general. Other men out here are lying to themselves about who they are and about loving themselves. A lot of people, they get a certain thing when they get to a certain status, they forget who they were, and they forget how their mama looked. And their baby mama, their first baby mama. Let's just say it like that, okay? So I also think that lies just come into full effect in so many different forms. So you can't just tell me that men are only lying about sex. They're lying about who they are and loving themselves. Because let me tell you something. If you look yourself as a Black man in the mirror and you don't want another Black man, like a little replica of yourself, I don't think you love yourself a lot. Because honestly, if you gotta have something, he gotta have curlier hair. He gotta be a little bit smoother here. He gotta be a little bit lighter here, a little bit tighter. What is that? Anyway, I just feel like, honestly, you have a problem with yourself. To not want something that looks like you, or not to love something that looks like you. All right, well, I thank you all so much for joining me for Painted ConvoS, episode 9, Sex, Lies, and Drugs. This is the conclusion of my show. I hope you guys check me out on YouTube at Painted ConvoS, and also follow me on Instagram at Painted_BLAQ. Thank you so much for tuning in. Painted ConvoS.